So Mick, how do you feel about the levels of public support for the summer of strikes and the Enough is Enough campaign so far?
Well, there seems to be a lot of support. There was a big meeting last night that I was invited to speak at. Big meeting in Glasgow on Tuesday night. We're getting very vibrant, good support on the picket lines from the general public. There'll be more general meetings at the weekend when people can come out and protest. So we're very pleased with the level of support we're getting. I think the government and the companies thought we'd be facing mass hostility, but that doesn't seem to have manifested itself. Of course, people are upset that they can't do their journeys. We recognise that. We don't want that to happen. We'd like a settlement as soon as we can get it, but we're determined to keep going. So I think, there seems to be disputes breaking out in a lot of sectors. We've got the bus workers in London out tomorrow. We've seen the issues in aviation and in other transport sectors, but I think the health workers, the education workers and others will be joining into these campaigns. So in that sense, there's a lot of support, but we've got to make that deliver results for working people.
Do you think that actions such as the one going on today and the one yesterday can force Grant Shapps and the government to the negotiating table?
Well, whether Grant Shapps ever comes himself, I've got my doubts, but what we've got to do is make the government change their position. They're being extremely hostile at the minute and aggressive towards railway workers and railway unions. I think he's got to change his position so that there's less belligerence and a bit more goodwill so that we can work up some solutions. We're determined to do that, and I think some of the managers that we're dealing with would like to do that as well, but at the moment they're shackled to a bit of ideology coming from the Tories, and to get a solution to this, that's got to change, and belligerence is no good. It's a spirit of agreement that's going to get us there.
In terms of getting the government to change their position and Labour to change their position as well, polls show that renationalisation is incredibly popular, even with Conservative voters. Do you think that you can get them to change their positions?
Well, public ownership of the railways is an obvious choice because the railway should be run in the interest of the people, in the interest of the environment and for the needs of the economy. So we need freight railway, we need passenger railway, and we need cheap fares, and we need good conditions for the workers. But more generally, in the economy, if we had public ownership of oil and gas at the moment, which we used to have, we could put a price cap on the wholesale prices of gas and wind and oil prices immediately, and that would help to solve the cost of living crisis. Because we've given that out to private companies who, as we know, are making billions and billions in profits every quarter, not just yearly, every quarter they're making massive profits, uncontrolled profits. And that's giving away one of your main tools in the economy. So public ownership is good in and of itself, and I think more people are coming to realise that. And people like the Labour Party need to start making the case for public ownership in our economy.